In today's episode, I'd like to share with you 5 odd Russian behaviours or habits. And obviously I mean odd from a point of view of an outsider, a foreigner, a Westerner like me. If you're Russian, I guess it's completely normal. One thing that really confused me when I first started coming to Russia was what on earth these things were that I kept seeing everywhere. I decided it could only be some kind of draconian children's climbing frame left over from the Soviet period. So what on earth is this strange thing? Well, it's an official designated rug beating frame. It's a very common sight in courtyards all over Russia. Basically, you come out of your flat with your rug rolled up, you throw it on there, and then you beat the heck out of it. Because beating the heck out of your rug is such an essential part of Russian culture, they've even got another one there as well. 2 in the space of a 10-second walk does seem a little bit excessive to me. This bizarre practice of venturing into a public space to violently assault a piece of home decor with a stick is both hilarious and baffling. That is unbelievable. It's about -20 out there. Really windy, freezing cold. 10 o'clock at night. But guess what? Someone's decided that they need to bang their rug. Next up is the typical Russian trait of withholding information. It's basically you just asking a Russian person a question and them refusing to answer it. I guess it's some kind of minimalist approach to communication. If they can't be bothered to give the answer, or if they just think that it's not something you really need to know, then they just won't bother answering. This particular behaviour quite often manifests itself when you're being driven by a Russian. On more than one occasion I've been in the car with a Russian person and he's been driving along and I've had no idea where we're going, so I say, where are we going then? And then he just keeps on driving without answering, and I'm thinking, is he ignoring me or did he not hear me? So it could kind of be some kind of historical habit, just Russians withholding information, especially from a foreigner. Or it could be kind of superstition. They think it's like jinxing something. If you say you're going to do something and then it might not happen, so best not to say in the first place. One thing that never ceases to amaze me is how fearless Russians are, especially those from the Soviet period. It's quite common to see a little babushka remonstrating with a group of rowdy youths. Now, chances are where you come from, little grandmas wouldn't dare to do that. They'd be too scared, too frightened, but not in Russia. I guess they feel they've got like a moral authority, and that empowers them to take on anyone. It's amazing how brave they are, and it's not just grandmas either. Related to that is probably just the lack of fear that Russians have for strangers, which is probably why Russians can be quite rude to strangers. Where I come from, it's kind of poor form to be rude to a stranger. You can be rude to your friends and family, but normally to a stranger, that's poor form. But in Russia, that's absolutely fair game. Russians don't seem to like to use the word yes. If you ask them a question and they want to answer in the affirmative, instead of saying yes, they'll just repeat the intent of the question. So, for example, if someone says, "Is it cold today?" Instead of saying yes, if it is cold, you just say cold. So I guess it's just repeating the key words for emphasis. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, But again, it's something that's completely normal for Russians, but something a bit, not odd, but a little bit strange when I first heard it.
А ты вообще что, очень умный, да? Очень. Ах, так ты умный.
In fact, a lot of the time, when you do hear the word da, which means yes in Russia, it's normally preceded by the word nu. In fact, nu is not really even a word, it's kind of like a sound. And then you'll hear like someone say, nu da, but that doesn't actually mean yes. But in true Russian style, what's ironic is that the word no is the word you'll hear more than ever. You say, can I go there? No, нет. Can I do that? Нет. You open? Нет. so I think it is actually the most used word in the Russian language, as well as нельзя, which means not allowed. Perhaps not surprisingly, we wrap up with a vodka-related tradition. Basically, you've got your glass of vodka, you down it in one, Russian style, Straight after that, you then have to do a massive exhale, something like this. Whew! Then you grab a piece of brown bread, must be brown and ideally sliced long ways, as is the Russian way, and you don't eat it. No. You sniff it. Big sniff like that. And then you're good. In the unlikely event that bread's not available, I have heard an alternative theory whereby you can actually sniff on your sleeve if you're wearing a sleeve. But I'm not sure about that. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. So that's it then. Thanks for watching. And in the comments, of course, put any strange or odd Russian habits that you know of. See you next time.